Hello and welcome to the next episode of Making Mannequin Heads into Planters. Woo, the crowd goes wild. Like and subscribe, or just subscribe. I would love to, and also make any comments if you think of stuff to do that I could do differently, or make, or that I inspired you, or would like to see me try. I mean, that's maybe something we could do. Why not? It's my party. And you're getting on the Patrick train and we're going for a ride. So, welcome back. Sorry, little weird moment. Don't apologize, just go with it. The next thing that I'm going to be working on right now that I just mentioned is I'm going to leave this guy alone for a little while. She's still drying. Got the cool copper going on. Next layer of coolness happening with her. I don't know what I'll do. I may suddenly decide, oh, and she's done. But I don't know, maybe I'll do some shading or something and then let her go. I actually really like that copper. So I was mentioning that maybe I'd do another color on her. But I don't know, we will see. I actually like the symmetry that I got going on her. So the next step is on this body is to do the glue of the other flap. So I'm going to put it down right here. I sanded the edges of the flaps last time and the edges of the hole because they were chewed up by my hold on. I'm going to put a little protective gear on. Oh, bummer. All right, well, I don't have a stapler here, do I? I do not have, I have glue. So let me just take a second and glue this puppy back together. My KN95 side strap popped. Because this stuff is harsh. So I'm just gonna put a little teeny bit on that strap, which means that we're gonna work on the other one first. I'm going to glue this down and let this dry. How the heck am I going to keep that together? Where's that bobby? Oh, I glued the bobby pin into the head. Oops. Let me get this so that it'll actually dry together. Oh, I can use these. Nah, they won't clamp it. Pum, 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 pum. I need something with weight that I can put on it. Here we go. Boom. I just put a little teeny dollop on there because that's all it's gonna need. When it sticks, it's gonna stick. They kind of melt them together. Well, hopefully this actually sticks to this material. I don't even know what kind of material this is. And then I just set the side of my scissors on it. All right, cool. So that's gonna wait for a second. We're gonna switch out. Oh, the fun of adapting. Flowing, going with it. So this one, I told you, the idea is, love it, right? Very, very cool. I'm gonna need to rough up the surface a little bit so it'll take paint a little bit better. Not a lot, but enough so that it'll take paint. And then I am going to tape. So I just I'm worried that this really like super nice split coat. I don't care what direction I go in, just whatever's convenient. That the split surface of the plastic would basically, any kind of paint I put on is just going to peel. So why am I then sanding it? Well, it gives it a little bit more grippy surface, highs and lows, ups and downs, little mountains and valleys, for the paint to get in and adhere to. Rougher it is. Doesn't need to be terribly rough, but it'll hold on to paint this way, or the paint will hold on to it, whatever direction you want to go with that. And then I'll just wipe it down before I paint. So the idea is I went and got tape. Now when I say went and got it, it's of course in our household, I'm always doing projects. We're all always doing projects. And painter's tape has been prevalent in our house because we've been redoing our kitchen cabinets. I redid all the doors on our kitchen cabinets. Of course, now we're It was a sort of stopgap to make it not so dark, because it was beautiful wood, but super dark wood. And the kitchen was just difficult to deal with, especially coming from our last house where, oh, this is great. We had a very bright open kitchen without a ceiling. And now having that ceiling actually removed, or it's going to be removed as of starting September. But for the stopgap, what I did was I took off all the doors and all the drawers, brought them down to the basement, sanded them down, and got my sprayer that I used on the house, my big old electric sprayer. It's extremely loud. And I did our last house in Kansas City, the entire house using that sprayer. And I am going to, and I of course don't have anything to wipe it down with. Ooh, boogery bugger. I guess I will use my hands. Well, that actually works just fine. Just gets the dust off. Don't mind me. So anyway, so I use that. And so we have a lot of tape. So we painted walls, we painted wallpaper, we like to paint. We've always had a lot of that sort of thing. I love the inside of this. This is so cool. The edge I like. And now it's sanded down. So anyway, so I've got all these tapes, right? And there's a lot of different types of tape. Let's talk about tape for a second. So painter's tape, there's actually a number of different types of painter's tape. There's regular old masking tape. There's high adhesive masking tape. There's low adhesive masking, or low adhesion masking tape. And then there's just regular old cheap masking tape. The cheaper the masking tape, the more nightmarish it is to work with it. Because as you pull it off, it'll just go, it's super thin. It's way too thin. It's not really usable. So spend $1 more and get a brand name, 3M. This is actually Scotch Blue. Scotch Blue stuff is good. There's a green one, frog tape. It comes in different widths, right? Cool. So does this. The painter's tape a lot of times will actually be in different colors if it's not just regular masking tape. Hopefully I didn't say Scotch tape before. Masking tape. I watch these later and I go, oh, wrong words, Patrick. Wrong references. Hopefully I actually correct myself along the way. So the masking tapes will be different color depending on the adhesion. So if you're working on a delicate where you don't want to pull the paint off that you've already put on it, you want a less adhesive tape. If you want a super clean line, you want a higher adhesion, higher rated, or higher, more sticky. There we go. More sticky tape. This is sort of in the middle. It's just kind of a standard blue, and it's number 2093 sharp lines. So it's a multi-surface as well. So it can have a little bit of texture to it, which I want here because I'm going to be going around corners. So how do I do this? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? I think I'm actually going to use the regular old masking tapes. Hopefully I won't have to fight with this one. If I have to fight with this one, I'll open that blue line of the wider masking tape. But this is where it can be a pain in the butt, is if you get a little wider, cheap masking tape, or if it gets old. The other thing is, when it gets old, you throw it away. Because unfortunately, masking tape does degrade. I think it's the adhesive that just, oof, it gets, when it's already a cheap masking tape and then the paper's just constantly shredding, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I know I shouldn't be wasteful, but nope, not dealing with it. So I'm going to mask this so that when I do paint, the parts that I paint are going to be colored, and then I take the masking tape off and they're not going to be colored. And then I'm going to do another layer of tape so that the next color that goes on is going to be there, but then it's going to be color and black underneath, and da-da-da-da-da for different layers, right? Where shall I start? I shall start, I want it to sort of swoop around. So let's do this, see if I can get a flat line-ish. And I can stop wherever I want. I don't want, that's good enough for what I'm doing, because where are they gonna be? They're gonna be outside! So, all right, that's good. Hopefully that'll come off without much issue. And then this one, I'm going to do kind of, should I do it as a, yeah, let's do across the mouth. Come up on both sides so that as flat as I can. I'm gonna leave the rough ends. I know that may irk some of you, but you know what? Go with it. It's not something I would normally do. I'd normally like cut them like perfectly square and stuff, but I'm trying to teach myself not to. All right, so this one's gonna come in through and go the opposite direction. Let's create a triangle right in there. Over the nose, let's go on both sides of the nose. Come down around the bottom of the nose, that's cool. Oh, that kind of made a cool shape. Let's go there, you see that? I'm gonna go down around the chin. Now, how am I deciding to do this? What are you observing that I'm doing to figure out where I'm gonna put these? It's not a rhetorical question. You're supposed to answer. So what am I doing? I'm going with the body, with the shape of what I'm working with, right? So, and when I pull a piece of tape, I just made a rule as I was pulling it that, oh, that was a short one, went through my mind, right? This is a short one. What the heck am I gonna do with the short one? Well, I'm gonna use it. Maybe to cover up the end of that one and bring an angle in there. That's kind of cool. That's kind of stating a lot, right? A little intentional on there. Let's go with the longer one. This is the thinner tape. So I'm varying which tapes I'm using. A little one here. Okay, so I'm covering up the rough ends. I didn't realize I was going to want to do that, but I really, for some reason, have a desire to do that. So I'm going with it. And then this is kind of interesting that I now have parallel lines. They're not really parallel, they're diverging, but they're pretty close to one another. So maybe through here, I just had an idea. Through here, continue the thicker line with a narrower piece. It crosses and goes down, but I want it to lay flat, so I'm going to go with the contours of the mannequin head. That's pretty cool. Got a large area in the back. I'm going to take a large piece. Actually, I'm going to take half of this piece. I'm going to come up through here. I'm going to, what do I want to do? Go around? Let's go around. Start here, here to here. Let's see if that'll work. That's kind of cool. Kind of lucky that. Let's see where this one goes to. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Huh. All right. And then I'm going to do one vertically. That goes from here and bisects this area. Let's go with that. That's kind of cool. I like it. All right, so the upper part I think is done. Now I'm going to use actual acrylic on this. I'm not going to spray. Because I just kind of want to go with acrylics because I may do the different zones of different colors. So this bottom part, I'm going to go from here, overlap, see where it takes me along the contour. Oh wow, that's cool. All right, that meets up. And then maybe I'm going to do one from here down and around. There we go. See where this one takes me. Oh, cool. All right, well, that's unexpected. Go with that. Go with that. But I still do want something down the front. So maybe There we go. That's cool. Right. Let's go from here. Oh, yes. There. To there. Ah. And straight down. And under. Okay, so I think I have everything. I say that and I do another. So now I'm going to paint. And yes, I am covering up my rough edges. After I said that, I'm like, I'm just gonna leave them. No, it just bugs me too much. Makes me uncomfortable. I don't wanna be uncomfortable, I wanna have fun. Girls just wanna have fun. I love Cyndi Lauper so much. All right, one of the most amazing voices, incredibly prolific songwriter of very famous songs, and generous person, from what I've heard and read and everything. I've never met her. So disappointing. Anyway, so there we go. There's the paint. So now I still have this copper paint here in my little baby brush. So I'm gonna use whatever brush I got. Oh, there we go. There's a good spot for copper. And I'm just gonna slather that on there and go up over the edge. Cool. That works for me. Boom, 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 boom. I can always do another coat if I don't feel it covered as well as I like. There we go. And then where's another spot? I like, should I do in here or here? This is speaking to me for some reason. This area, it'd be better if I was using a larger brush. So I will. I'm going to grab a larger brush from my Bino brushes. Let's go with, oops, a significantly larger brush. But I want one that's synthetic again because I don't want natural bristle. I keep on pulling natural bristle, that's why I keep on putting it back. There we go. Because I am using this lighter weight paint, this thinner paint. There it is, that'll cover better. I don't need you to necessarily go faster, I just don't want to be wasting time while I'm putting paint down. So this is almost out. I'll have to see if I can ever find this paint again. Oh no, this again. Oh. Ta-da. There's tons of paint left in there, good golly. All right. There's the copper on there. Yeah, I will definitely do another coat so it stabilizes or solidifies. There we go, that's cool. So now I'm gonna do, because I've got over here, I want to create some sort of symmetry in my own mind, balance and things like that as I put colors on. I do definitely think about where I'm putting colors on as I do it, as I paint. Now I do this on all of my paintings in that when I look at it, I want to feel as though, especially like with some of the murals, the abstract murals I've done, I want to feel as though the color is there, but it's not like they're not bumping up against each other, that they're there and they complement their locations. Try not to put your fingers on the paint, Patrick. So like here is a good spot on the other side. I go with the flow to a certain degree. Oh man, that's cool. Look at the texture that came up. Can you see the texture? From sanding it. I like the texture even better. That's freaking cool. But I do consciously choose where my paints go. And the beauty of it is, it's not permanent. I mean, it is. It's going to be on there permanently. But I can always paint over it if I don't like it. If I get to the next stage and I'm like, bleh, I need to cover that crap up because that was a terrible location for me to do it, which I very rarely say. So I've got all this paint on here. I may do another coat on. Let me start, see how much this stuff dries really very quickly. Yep, it's almost mostly dry. So I'm gonna move to a different color paint while that continues to dry. Cover up this with the little bit that I have left, should be plenty. And I'm gonna go with silver. We're gonna go with metallics for this layer. And this one's not even open. That's cool. I must have used up the entire other silver that I had, because that's the other thing is I very rarely, and this drives Lee nuts, he's learned that it's just kind of my MO. I very rarely will buy one of something. I actually used to give him crap because he would buy, like, if he could, he would buy one roll of toilet paper, which you can do at a time, or one roll of, you know, just have a seal. I don't think so. Good. Of paper towels, or, you know, as an example. Back when he was single. Well, and for years, he was no longer single, but he was still buying one of each thing. And I'd always be like, how many did you get? 2. Like, do you understand that's going to last us 3 days? And so I'd always give him crap about it. So because I tend to, and this is just growing up, you know, in the mountains with mom and dad in Vermont, we would stock up on things. And from Lee's background, sort of the stocking up idea is akin to hoarding, which he's fascinated by, but really tries not to do himself, because it kind of is he tends to be a collector. So I think in other ways that he claims that he doesn't like to go to the grocery store. I still say that he likes to go to the grocery store, and that's why he buys one of things. But he likes to be sort of in the moment of, I don't know what I'm doing for dinner. I'm going to make dinner and I'm going to figure it out last minute and go to the grocery store and get it. He's very European that way, of not having 400,000 things of food, and even though he will have 9,000 magazines on one topic. So I love it how we all have these, you know, quirks and foibles that make us who we are. And that's one of the main reasons. It's not one of the main reasons, but it's one of the big reasons. Oh, good golly, I keep on touching the zones. Harder to move it around each time when you keep putting your fingers on it. But it is what makes me appreciate him, because we have different foibles and laugh at each other's foibles, not in a mean way, but in an appreciative way, because without those foibles, he wouldn't be him. Right? Boy, am I waxing philosophical lately. Oh, there's the other spot. I knew there was one more spot I wanted to put the silver on. And it's going to either be here or here. I already have here and here. That's going to be unbalanced. I have here, so I don't want here. This big old place in the back can take some other color. So I'm going to do this shoulder right here. Yeah, so anyway, just thought I'd share the quirks of people. If you can, like, just step back and not be completely pissed off and annoyed at them for their quirks. The quirks are, as long as they're not like detrimental, like he's a serial killer. I mean, you can forgive so much stuff, but he's not. He just has funny isms that I find charming and endearing, because I choose to find them charming and endearing instead of my natural inclination, which is to find them super annoying. But I get to choose how I respond to these things. That is in my power, most of the time. And when I do respond differently, I sit there and go, nope, Patrick, appreciate. You know where that comes from? Oddly enough, is a Robin Williams film, and it was the one where he was he was in the hospital, and he played the guy who was a clown in the hospital. I think he was a doctor, but also like brought joy to people. And he had and I think that's what it was in, is he had lost his spouse, and the things he listed, the things that he missed about her, and one of them was her farting in bed, and her ability, I think it was her ability to belch. And he said even those things he misses about her, because those things made her her. They were just part of who she was. And I found it not only like incredibly like holy crap moment, but so moving, and it was kind of life-changing. I mean, how often can I say that about a movie there were a few movies. Two of them were Robin Williams movies where when I watched them, they were life-changing. One of them was Dead Poets Society. That was devastating to me, absolutely devastating. I was so in love with the boy who killed himself. I mean, like, I had already, like, completely head over heels fallen in love with the boy, and just thought he was the most beautiful thing on the planet, and then he goes and kills himself. And I'm sorry if you've never seen the movie. That's a spoiler. So now if you see the movie, don't be pissed off at me, please. I apologize in advance for having ruined the movie for you, but it's not really ruining the movie. It's totally worth seeing. Incredibly intense movie, beautiful movie, but I've never seen it again since because it was so devastating to me. Like take my heart out and throw it on the floor devastating. Shows you that you're alive, but I really don't like experiencing my vulnerabilities that closely and deeply. So anyway, that one and I'm sorry that I can't remember the name of the one where he plays, I think it's in the cancer ward, but with the part of it that spoke so much to me, you're like, oh yeah, it really made an effect, or it had an effect on you, Patrick. You don't even know the whole, you know, all of the parameters or all the aspects of the movie. It's like, well, yeah, because the rest of it, I got it, but it didn't change me. Whereas that comment changed me. About how to appreciate people for who they are and what they bring to you, and their idiosyncrasies, and how they make a person that individual person. And those are things that, if you can find appreciation and love for them and not take them for granted, that's what I got out of it, was not to take these things I find so silly about Lee and my parents and my siblings and other people with whom I have a relationship and love throughout the years. If I take them as who they are instead of being annoyed by their quirks and weirdisms, I suddenly realized that, you know, my best friends are the weird ones who are quirky as hell, and who I appreciate because of that. And that comes a lot from my quirky as hell family, who are brilliant and beautiful and fun to be around. I'm really, really, really lucky, because I know that that's not the way that a lot of families work, or a lot of experiences that people have had. But I was really, 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 really well supported, loved unconditionally, and that was always expressed, which to me was very much needed as a very sensitive kid. I mean, I know we're all sensitive, but in my personal experience, I was an extremely sensitive kid, and the fact that my mom would give me kissies when I was in high school, I didn't mind, because I saw a lot of other kids' moms who didn't show any affection, or dads who didn't give them hugs all the time and didn't tell them how much they love them all the time. And I felt bad that they didn't have that, because I even then appreciated that my folks have always been so incredibly open and loving, and open with their love, and generous, incredibly generous people. So, and as a result, I find myself really trying to be as good a person as I can be and emulate their goodness, because their goodness is definitely beyond me. And they live in a world of beauty, so do I, and I try to maintain that and keep that close to my heart, because I had such fabulous examples growing up of how to do that. Yeah, there were troubles, there were difficulties, blah, blah, blah. There were challenges throughout life, and there was insecurity at times, and, you know, all those things that make us human. But through it all, just a real passion for love and for loving one another, passion for expressing that love openly and freely, and for it not just be a spoken thing, but for it to be a physical example of huggies and kissies and snuggles and all of those things, and it meant everything to me, and it still means everything to me. To be able to give my mom a giant hug is, I know it's an incredibly important thing, because I know so many who can't do that anymore. So anyway, so I'm going on and on and on as I'm painting. This is what happens in my brain as I paint. I have appreciation mode that I get into. So that was a good start on that. Yeah, cool, right? I may do one, I am going to do one more color. I don't know what color it is. It's going to be something probably bright. I brought these two over thinking that one of those, maybe the darker of the green, make it look more mossy, or the brighter of the green. I don't know. It'll be one of those. And then I will take all the tape off. I'll let it completely dry. Take all the tape off, and then I'll have to come back to it later for another stage of painting. But that metallic is 3 coats is enough, because it's nice and solid on there as I want it. Now I'm gonna go wash my brushes, and I'm gonna say goodbye to you. And I hope you have a fabulous day, or evening, or morning. And I just ask you if you would consider subscribing, because the more people who see it also share it. I don't know, I just would appreciate it. Have a fabulous day, treat yourself well, and treat others well as well. All right? You can choose to have a good day. It's all how you look at it. And bye.